Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. Today on the podcast, let's have a conversation about comfort zones in your coffee career as well as comfort zones in your coffee business. 2020 has invited all of us to reassess what it is that we want in life and out of life, from our careers, our relationships, and everything. A lot of people are questioning, are they living too comfortably? Are they getting enough out of life? And I've had many questions from people saying, how do I become an entrepreneur for the first time? How do I start to seek living a more intentional life and having a more intentional career? And for some people, that means leaning into doing things differently. I certainly, in all the business coaching that I do, I'm not somebody who works with people who want to do something the same as what everybody else has done. So I'm that kind of a business coach in the coffee space and beyond the coffee space that works with people who are looking to push themselves and the people around them outside of their comfort zone. Something important to know before you do this: if you're going to step outside of everything that's comfortable for you, the very first thing you should understand is you're about to get uncomfortable in all the ways that you don't want to be uncomfortable very quickly. I've said this a million times on the podcast, and I will continue to say this. Doing anything hard, particularly going into business, is going to teach you everything you never wanted to know about yourself. If you don't believe me, ask any of the people that are in our mastermind group or that are one-on-one consulting clients with Map It Forward. The reason is because you are outside of your comfort zone. And the moment you step outside of your comfort zone, what's going to happen is that you start to uncover and unearth all of your fears. And so if you decide to be the very first specialty coffee shop in your local town, that is going to have people looking at you in some kind of a way because you're doing things differently to the way that other people are used to things being done. And when that happens, they're going to respond to you differently. And when people respond to you differently, that's going to challenge your sense of self and how you feel about people questioning your intentions, questioning the way that you want to approach business and approach life, etc., etc. That is going to unearth a bunch of fears for you. That's to be expected. So, for the rest of this discussion, I want to talk to you about the risks and the rewards of stepping outside of your comfort zone in your coffee career and in your professional business life. And bear in mind, nothing that I'm going to talk about right now is unique to coffee, professional or business. This applies to your whole life. So what are some of the risks of stepping outside of your comfort zone? Number one, you're going to be completely out of your depth. And you're going to have to lean into what you don't know. You're going to have to accept that you are in uncharted territory, sometimes perhaps uncharted territory that nobody has ever done before, if you want to be an innovator. And so stepping outside of your comfort zone means that you reset your map, which we talk a lot about in Map It Forward. You are resetting your 10-year map and you are starting as a puppy again. And that hurts like hell. Take it from me. I have reset my map a number of times throughout my life, and it gets easier the more that you do it. The more you reset things, the more you know how to do the puppy years, because those are the years where you're reestablishing the fundamentals. Those are the years where you are saying, I am now a student again. Well, you're always a student, but you are a student with no guidance. You are learning who you should learn from, what you should be learning, where the information should be coming from. How do you discern what's real good information and what's shit information? You become an absolute novice again. So That's the first thing that becomes a risk. The next risk, everything that you think is going to be easy may be easy. But there is going to be a number of things that you didn't anticipate, and you will end up feeling a bunch of ways. What you are risking here is a lot of the values that you may hold dear. And this will, and it is always connected back to ego. You are risking your ego. And I will say now, everything, all of these risks that we are talking about, all have a reward side to them. And we'll talk about them when I talk about rewards. But you are, hopefully intentionally, when you go on a new journey that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, you are going into an opportunity that challenges everything about your ego, and you lean into that. But you are risking any sense of ego that you have. I'm a big fan of that. Some people are very terrified of it because their ego is what they've built their persona on. The last thing that I want to talk to you about risking is you are risking success. When you step outside of your comfort zone, you are making a statement that I am now going on a journey where I don't know if I'm going to succeed. For example, in a professional life, when you are risking pivoting to a different career other than the career that you're currently in, or part of the sector, a different sector of the coffee industry other than the one that you're currently in, what you're saying is, I'm going to have a go and I have no idea if this is going to work out. And that is a risk. You may not be any good at it, despite how hard you work. Look, I've seen so many people say, I want to become a coffee roaster, and they haven't considered the skill set that's required to be a coffee roaster. It's hugely detail orientated. And if you're not a detail orientated person, excuse me, despite how much you think you love coffee roasting, it's not the career for you. So in going into different things that are outside of your comfort zone, you are risking the idea of success because you may not succeed. So now let's talk about the rewards. The rewards of getting outside of your comfort zone, as far as I'm concerned, are limitless and endless. And it's why I encourage everybody to do it all the time. And I'm always in a state of discomfort myself in my own life and in my businesses. It's how I choose to live my life because I'm just somebody who likes to continuously grow. I'm a very intense person, as you may imagine. So the rewards of doing things that are uncomfortable. You're always learning and growing about yourself. You are always discovering things about yourself. You are also discovering and learning things about the people around you. And this is another one of the risks and the rewards. You 100% will lose people in your life, but you will gain people in your life when you decide to go outside of your comfort zone. There will be people who just don't agree with what you're doing because it compromises their sense of self and it compromises their own success. But there are people that you will gain along the way. When you start to do things that are uncomfortable for you, you will start to attract people who also are leaning into doing uncomfortable things. You don't even have to try and find them. They'll find you. There's a great book that everybody should read or listen to. It's called The Alchemist. I can't recommend it enough. I recommend it to all the people that I care about, and everyone that I coach gets told to listen to this book first. And it talks about how journeys flow and how doing anything that is uncomfortable takes you on a vision quest. So you will lose people, but you will 100%. One of the main rewards that you get out of doing something that's uncomfortable is that you gain a new kind of people into your life. Because when you have an intention for yourself, other people around you notice that you're trying really hard to achieve something and they want to conspire to your success. The final reward that I want to talk about today, and please let me clarify, the risks and rewards that we're talking about here, this is not a finite list. They're limitless. But the last one that I want to talk about of the rewards that you get of leaning into something uncomfortable is success. And success is not the opposite of failure. I don't see things as failures. I see everything as a success, provided you try something. So if you lean into doing something uncomfortable, in the beginning you have no idea that whether you're going to be successful or not. As long as you get to the end of the journey though, as long as you go far enough beyond your puppy years that you complete the journey, whether you decide to get off the journey or not, but as long as you get as far as you possibly can and lean into every fear that you can without destroying yourself, without flatlining your life in the process, you will achieve success. The success may look different to what you expected, but you will achieve. It's the people who try and want the accolades of announcing, hey, look, I'm doing something new, and they get slightly into their puppy years and they don't complete their puppy years. And then they just decide, oh, fuck this is too hard. That's not success. That's giving up. And when you push into your comfort zone, you want to get to a point where you don't give up on yourself. You get to a point where you realize, I've gotten everything that I anticipated I'd get out of this and more. And that's an important place to be. I hope this has been helpful. I encourage everybody to lean into doing uncomfortable stuff in 2021. Start pondering this moment and consider joining a mastermind group if you want to be around other people and be supported by other people who are leaning into doing uncomfortable stuff. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.